I need to know what you guys think about ranking the positions on your volleyball team. So what's the most important position to the least important and why? I'm going to start with Phil.
In my opinion, the outsides are the backbone of the team. They are the heart and soul of the team. Without outsides, it just doesn't work. In terms of most important to least important, in my opinion, outsides, setter, middle, libero, and opposite are the last two.
Right side is dead last.
Dead last. Oh, liberos and opposites kind of go together. They're both there just for one purpose, really. Opposites just hit the ball. Liberos just defend the ball. Put them together, and that makes one full position, in my opinion.
All right. So since you're picking right sides to go last, we'll pick Dante to go last. And let's have Danny go next. DJ Dalladea, what do you think?
This is a little controversial.
All right, but explain why.
I'm explaining. Okay. To
But
me,
why?
it's almost like the chicken and the egg concept, right? What comes first, the chicken or the egg? See, why do I say that? See, outsides are very important, right? They're probably getting most of the sets during the game. But how does the ball get to the outside, right? We have to go through that process first. There needs to be a pass, right? So you need a good lib DS and a good outside that can pass. Then you need a good setter. See, without that setter, the outside may not have a good hit of a ball, and then you have the outside. So I feel like it should be a tiered system. It shouldn't be one position at one, another position at two. It should only be like first tier. But anyway, since you asked me to rank them, being given my explanation, I'm going to say, let's say outside libero DS. No, outside setter, lib DS, middle.
All right, Rye. Go ahead, Rye. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I hate this question because I'm so bad at making choices. In my opinion, you can't win any matches unless you're serving well or you're passing well. Serving that's to every position, but receiving the ball is down to the outside hitters and the libero. So they're definitely towards the top because we have to pass the ball. And then maybe this is biased because I am a setter, but I think that the setting position that's the second part. After we receive the ball well, we got to have someone who can distribute the ball well. I think if you lock down those two things, a good reception and a good touch on the second contact, you can score even with less than average attackers. I mean, if it's always a perfect pass, it's very difficult to stop. It's very difficult for a blocking team to defend against. So for those reasons, I'm going to say the setter and the libero are in my top tier. And I'm going to say my middle tier are the outsides and the middle blockers. And my I guess that would leave the opposite in the at the bottom, which I don't like because I think the opposite is the ultimate cleanup player that has to be able to score on any given ball. But I don't know. There's aspects of the game that happen before that person touches the ball. So that's my logic right now. I'll probably change it in 5 minutes, but I'm going to go setter, libero at the top two, middle two are outside, middle, and then the lower tier are the opposite and the water boy.
Ryan, I'm definitely coming back to you in 5 minutes to see if it's the same. Dante.
Personally, I would say if you had a team full of 6 right sides, you would be dope. They can do everything.
Except
you wouldn't be able to pass for shit.
Yeah.
But you would be super dope. They can set, they can block, they can play defense every now and then. You'd have a dope ass team. But
dude, listen to what you just said. They can't pass. They play defense now and then. How is
That's
this?
what I'm saying. Because if you put the ball 30 feet in the air, right side's got hands, baby.
Yeah, but you got to pass first.
It's all about the show. We talked about this. It's all about making the game more interesting. In all seriousness, I think it goes setter, lib, middles to take pressure off of the pins, outsides, then right sides.
Okay, so outside towards the bottom there.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to tell you guys the actual answer.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Because obviously I know the answer. This is not an opinion at all. This is Donald Trump facts.
No.
So can you talk like Donald Trump when you explain it?
China. First of all, outsides are the greatest. They're just the greatest. They're the greatest position that we've ever seen. They're the greatest. They're just the best. They're the best. Without any outsides, you're dead. You're dead.
Hard disagree.
6 rotation outsides are the highest paid position in the world. You gotta have a setter.
Actually, opposites are the highest paid in the world.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
That's
Look it
why you
up,
don't
Phil.
have 6 of them on the court.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that.
We'll discuss that later.
Wait, are we only talking about men? Because then you might be right. I'm talking about men and women, just like the top
I'm talking
5.
about all.
No, if we're talking about men, he might be right. But for
If I'm talking about men, there is no questions asked. All together combined,
I think
still
there's some
opposites.
Well, I'm gonna one up you, Phil, because without women, men wouldn't exist. So, okay, what's up? All right.
Chicken or the egg?
Setters are the second most important position on the court. If you don't have a setter that can distribute the ball the way that it needs to be, it doesn't matter how many freaking great right sides you have because you can't get the ball to them. Middles are the third most important position because they are quite literally the hardest position to find. It's so difficult to find a really good middle. It's also really, really hard to find one that wants to be a middle. The only reason why I'm not willing to put them higher than that is because they don't score enough points for me to put them higher than that. Now, you'd probably ask, well, setters don't score points. Why is a setter higher? Well, setter is going to make the points happen. Then it's right side. Your right side is going to be your highest scorer a lot of times if you're in system. And hopefully, because you have good outsides, you will be in system. And then the last position, and this is really hard for me to say because I think it's a really important position, libero. And that's just because there's so many liberos. There's so many good liberos, and there's so many, and I agree with Phil, there's so many other things that need to happen that liberos, they just keep getting limited. The more that we progress our game, the more we limit their position. After that goes the cheerleaders because there's the motivation. And then it goes the parents because they heckle. And the coach is dead last. The coach is the most insignificant part of this whole freaking thing.
Let me take a tally here. What did people say was their top position? Let's go around just so we can sort of group.
Outsides. Everyone said outsides.
Outside.
Except for Dante.
Dante doesn't count.
I said setters and liberos.
I said setter.
So we got 3 outsides, 2 setters.
Would you guys agree it's it's pretty much down to those two in general, or no?
Well, like I voted setter second. Justin also said, or Justin followed my vote, which put the setters as second. And I think that's really, that makes sense. Those are the 2 most important players. I've drawn it up for you.
Oh my god.
Outside hitters. Is it mirrored? Is it backwards?
No, this is good, Phil. This is good.
Okay. Outside hitters are the heart and soul of the team. They control most of the part. Like they cover the most amount of court because there's 2 of them. The middles are only on court for half the time. They're the arms. If you draw this into a person, setter is the brains of the team. The outside hitters are the heart and the soul. They're the belly. They're the backbone. You got your middles. They're their arms. They're your utilities. They help out when you need. And your libero and your opposite, they're just that extra support.
Dante.
Okay.
Left leg looking good though.
I don't like the analogy of there's 2 outsides on the court because some teams DS an outside. Now there's 2 technically liberos on the court.
Yeah.
Some teams run a 6-2, and then there's 2 setters on the court.
I'm keeping it as like standard international volleyball where they generally play.
I got you.
I'm simplifying it to a high level.
Now, Phil's
we're-
right about one thing, which is that in the international pro level, the people that get paid the most money are attackers, and they are they're specifically left and right side attackers. Like middles, not so much. Definitely not setters usually. So,
Outsides are the highest paid.
So outsides and opposites
yeah.
will be the highest paid generally.
Okay.
Opposites get paid a lot to win the point. They're purely there just to score points.
well, because they do 2 things, right? The opposite is really there to score off of a set, wherever it's coming from. The outside hitter also has an opportunity to pass the ball, so they're kind of in there for more roles, right?
Well, that's where I think they're a utility player. An outside is generally more skillful in the greater spectrum of volleyball over the general opposite.
Which position gets the most chicks in high school?
Got to be the middle.
Easy, bro. Right side.
I feel a biased
Easy.
answer there, Dante.
Easy.
Let me flip this question a little bit. I don't know if it's related, maybe semi-related. You guys all typically have your positions. What's a position that you want to be? Something you've always wanted to be? And so if you could, state what you currently play usually, and what you would like, what you have dreams of being.
Let me take this first, because in 4th grade, I was the tallest person in my class. Okay, I was a natural born middle, and then in 5th grade, I forgot to grow. Okay, I would have been a fucking savage middle, except Mother Nature forgot. To be quite honest, I've played every position. In fact, you can fact check this. On senior night in college, I played middle. I hit 1,000, and I was the AVCA Player of the Week, because that's just what I did. But right now, for Team Freedom Volleyball Club, AA, I'm going to be a libero. And if there's one position that I would love to play, it's middle. And I hate when people say, like, oh, like, I hate playing middle, and they're fucking 6'7". Figure it out, bro. Like, what do you mean?
I'm going to go next because I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm a setter, but if I could choose, especially if I could choose my ideal height, I'd definitely be taller, but I'd choose middle. I think I would love to be a good, effective middle at the highest level. It just seems like a lot of fun to me. I know it's a difficult position, but that's what I would choose, is middle.
Yeah, middle, man. And you know why? Because I think I'm a setter as well. You know, I was a setter, and setting middle is so fun. Playing outside is probably the most fun, like Dante said, from a fan favorite standpoint. You know, like you're the one that's going to get noticed. You're the explosive guy that's getting the ball more frequently. But playing middle is like, it's quality over quantity, man. Like, outsides are getting 30, 40 attempts a match. Middles are getting like 15. But like, those attempts that they get are so explosive and so exciting. The first time I ever saw a middle attack, like a 1-ball, like a real one, I was like, yo, this is volleyball. Like, this is scary.
I would set.
You would set?
100%. I would set.
I mean, I know that. I also know, like, you're an opposite player, and you're also an outdoor player, and you take a lot of pride in your hand setting. Is that the reason? Just because, like, you enjoy setting the ball? Or is there something about the setter position?
I don't think so much about the setter position. I just think in college, the way that we ran transition offense, if our setter took the ball, I took second hands. And it wasn't – our lib at the time was super good, but couldn't put the ball back into, like, a rhythmic offense. Like, you would never be in system. It was just some high ball out of system to whatever pin he chose. I just felt like after there was like 3 years of consistently taking second hands, I just feel like at this point I could do the job, not super well because that's not what I do, but eventually I would figure it out.
Phil, Linford wants to know what your favorite position is.
Linford, he's one of my.
Wait, it's Linford.
Yeah, Linford.
Linford.
It's Linford. Linford.
All right, we'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
He's one of my buddies back home in Australia. We used to play together, and he was my setter. And he knows for a fact my favorite position is setter. However, my dream position is actually still outside. Like,
middle, Phil. You can't pass for shit.
If I was taller, I feel like I would love to be a middle. But I am tiny. I have T-Rex arms, and it just frustrates me. Because in the world of international volleyball, it's just like I don't feel adequate enough to be it. So I like my position as an outside. I play outside currently. It is a position that I think I'll always stick with. But if I had to choose another one, my favorite position is a setter because of how much thought goes into each set or each part of the game. Like every offense you run, you get to choose who's running what. You get to figure out where you're going to put the ball. As soon as the ball is passed in a different situation, you got to figure out where this ball needs to go to still provide a good opportunity for your team to score. And I think that's what excites me about the position as a setter. It's like there's so much going on behind the scenes rather than instead of just pushing a ball forwards or backwards. Sorry, backwards to Dante.
Backwards to Dante.
Danny, real fast, what position would you want to play if you could pick any position? Libero?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I enjoy the cat and mouse game of an attacker and a defender. And
that's cool.
I'm very competitive, so
Okay.
that's why I think I'd pick libero just to shut up all the cocky attackers that think they're
Like everybody on this show.
yeah.